And gents, welcome to tonight's episode of the Morte. Tonight we tell tales of brave jousting and recount that time that good old King Morte got chased through the forest by King Arthur's fool. Hello everyone, welcome, come in. Hello Alicia, I haven't seen you in a very long time. Hello Marissa, hello Karen, hello Roger, Sean, Julie, welcome guys, come in, how are you all? First of all, I want to apologise for last night. We had a power cut from 5 o'clock in the evening until about 3 o'clock this morning. So I tried very hard to get an update on Twitter to let you guys know what was happening, but it doesn't look like it's sent out. And I am ready, Roger. I am always ready. I was ready last night. I just happened to be ready. Well, yes, rationing electricity. That's it. It was rationing electricity, which also meant rationing food and having to drive. Also, the only things I had for candles at the time were these little tea lights. So I used up all the tea lights in the house very quickly, since they've got about 2 hours lifespan on them, and then had to drive to the supermarket, which fortunately is 10 miles away, because I live in the country, deep in the country, so 10 miles to go into the supermarket, pick up some candles, get some food from the takeaway next door. Oh, it was a power cut, Marissa. So, we talk about rationing as sort of, cutting down on things. And last night, it was that thing, yes, like Rabbit, I missed you too, and yes, it was cut off. It happens sort of three or four times a year, we get a power cut, and usually they happen during the day, so I'll just come back and all the clocks will be flashing at me. Sometimes it happens at night, but no, weather was fine. It's a nice evening. It just cut. It happens. Sometimes the lights just go in the village. Way back then, we weren't rationing last night though, Alicia. It was just hello, Jasmine, hello. Yes. It's the country. Sometimes the light goes and the electricity, and then I'm well stocked up on candles now. I'm not expecting any more problems. Usually there's a fair few months between them, and say usually it's fixed in a couple of hours, and ours just for some reason went on and on. Well, Marissa, there you go. You've learnt something new. You've learnt about power rationing, about electricity rationing, and trying to. Fortunately, we don't need to worry about that too much anymore. For the moment, touch wood, the electric reserves are good. No unions are going on strike. Well, unions are going on strike all the time, but none of the ones in charge of power stations are going on strike. Hello, Danny. Hello, come in. Hello, Queen as well, and Herbert. Welcome, guys. Welcome. I was just doing a big apology for last night. I'm not sure how many folk saw the update on Twitter. It eventually went out when I had power back to devices and things, because of course everything died as there was no power last night. Hello. But there was a power cut last night, which was why nothing went out, including my update. Although, do check Twitter just to see me surrounded by candles, looking very excited. In the dark. I do. I've got electricity both mentally and emotionally, and also from the light bulb as well. And indeed tonight, usually I'm just feeling excited, Roger, to have the emotional and physical energy to do the show. Tonight, though, the light is working for me. The fact I have light, I have internet, this is all good. I know it's three things. It's nice that you're paying enough attention to the show, Alicia, to notice that was three things. Yes, alright, you can get away with that. It was three things. I just thought, I'd kind of mentally, I'd rolled the mental electricity and the emotional electricity all into one. And then I thought, no, we should untangle these. These are two very cool, very special things. Let's pull them apart. And then I had three things. And yes, there we go. There we go. You guys are paying. That's important. As long as you guys are paying attention to the show, I don't need to pay attention. Indeed, to be honest with you guys, when I first started reading stuff on Periscope, here you go, a behind-the-scenes fact of the day. When I first started doing this stuff on Periscope, I was so used to reading in my head, but not aloud, that I had no idea what I was reading. And I could scan the words, I could say the words, but after finishing a page, I had no idea what I just said. I had no idea. I had to train my mind to actually read while speaking it. I could read it, or I could speak it. I couldn't do both. But now we're like 250 episodes of stuff in. Now I can do both. So I'm very, very excited to actually be able to know what's taking place in the stories. The first season, that didn't happen. Yes, switch, Marissa, switch. Anyway, shall we get into tonight's show, ladies and gents? Shall we go and get there? Of course, I get this thing, Periscope. Expand your mind, gives you a new skill. My hair's actually behaving quite nicely today. I just noticed. My hair doesn't usually behave like this. It's behaving. I like my hair today. It's doing what it's meant to do. This is good. This is all good. Anyway, into tonight's show. So, ladies and gents, we are telling the tale of Sir Tristram and Queen Isolde. Tristram, the most faithful knight in all the realm, and the second toughest knight after Sir Lancelot himself. Tristram, Knight of Cornwall, has been in love with Lady Isolde ever since he first set eyes upon her when he first travelled to Ireland, and she has been in love with him too. But whom a princess loves and whom a princess marries are not necessarily the same things, ladies and gents. Oh no, because Princess Isolde was forced into an arranged marriage with King Mark of Cornwall. Now, King Mark, and it's almost getting to pantomime. Well, it is pantomime season in the UK. For those of you who don't know what a pantomime is, YouTube it, you will be astounded. Within Cornwall, King Mark, the man who married Princess Isolde, is the most treacherous, cowardly, vile, wretched man the world has ever seen. Jealous, weak, boo, hiss. King Mark has been married to Queen Isolde. And yet, even being married to such a weak, petty little man as King Mark means that Isolde is still more in love with Tristram than ever. And King Mark has always been jealous of how successful Tristram's been with the womenfolk of the court. And he's always been jealous at what skill Tristram has had in battle. Needless to say, when King Mark found out that Tristram was lying in his wife's bed, he was none the amused. He tried to have Tristram executed, and when he failed to have Tristram executed, when no man was capable of restraining or striking Tristram, for he was such a fierce fighter, then was Tristram exiled from Cornwall. And for months now, Tristram has been travelling over Britain, doing great deeds, defeating the knights of Morgana Le Fay and winning at tournaments left, right and centre. He's even defeated King Arthur in a duel. And so fame has grown around Tristram. Immense fame, ladies and gents. And as a result of all of this fame that has built up around him, King Mark in Cornwall has become more jealous than ever. Incensed by his rage over Tristram, he has decided to set forth from Cornwall and head towards Camelot in England. Because over in Camelot, that is where Tristram has been made a Knight of the Round Table. And King Mark's plan was to approach Camelot in secret, in disguise, and once he was within Camelot's walls, then to slit Tristram's throat through foul deceit. he was discovered, though. He was discovered, ladies and gents, before ever this could happen. And so King Mark, when he was revealed to be King Mark before King Arthur, was forced to make friends with Tristram, and Tristram forced to make friends with King Mark, although some of the critics of the court might wonder just how long this friendship will really last for. I, for one, doubt it will last very much longer. But now, though, as knights come trickling into Camelot from Britain, now word is coming of all the cowardly, treacherous, lousy things that King Mark has done upon his way. And so tonight we begin, ladies and gents, with Sir Gawaine and Sir Brandil both coming to the court of Camelot, who will open the tale with the story of how King Mark was so weak and cowardly a knight that he fled from King Arthur's fool when the fool was mounted on horseback. Now turn we again, for when Sir Gawaine and Sir Brandil with their fellows came to the court of King Arthur, they told the king, Sir Lancelot and Sir Tristram, how Sir Dagonet the Fool chased King Mark through the forest, and how the strong knight smote them all down with one spear. And then there was great laughing and japing at King Mark, that he ran from Sir Dagonet the Fool, and how he was saved ultimately by Sir Palomides the strong knight. But all of these knights did not know at the time what the name was of that knight who had rescued King Mark. And then they asked King Mark if he knew his saviour's name. Mark answered and said, he named himself the knight who followed the questing beast, and on that name he sent one of my varlets to a place where was his mother. And when she heard from whence he came, she made passing great sorrow, and asked my varlet his name, and said, O my dear son, Palomides, why will you not see me? And therefore, sir, said King Mark, it is to understand that my saviour's name was Sir Palomides, a noble knight. And then were all those 7 knights whom had taken part in the chase against King Mark glad to know his name. And so our tale turns again. For on the morning all of those knights took their horses, both Sir Lamorak, Palomides, and Dinadan, with their squires and varlets, until they saw a fair castle that stood on a mountain well closed. And there they rode, and there within that castle they found a knight who was called Galahad. He was lord of that castle, and there they had great cheer and were well eased. Sir Dinadan, said Sir Lamorak, what will you do? Oh, sir, said Dinadan, tomorrow I will go to the court of King Arthur. But my head, said Sir Palomides, I will not ride these 3 days. For I am sorely hurt in my back from my battles, and much have I bled, and therefore I will wait here. Truly, said Sir Lamorak, then I will abide here with you, and when you ride, then will I ride, unless you should tarry overly long, for then I will take my horse. Therefore I pray that you, Sir Dinadan, should too wait here and ride with us. Faithfully, said Dinadan, I will not abide, for I have such a talent to see Sir Tristram that I might not abide any longer from him. Ah, Dinadan, said Sir Palomides, now do I understand that you love my mortal enemy, and therefore how can I ever trust you? Well, said Dinadan, I love my lord Sir Tristram above all others, and him I will serve and do honour. So shall I, said Sir Lamorak, in all that may lie within my power. And so on the morn Sir Dinadan rode to the court of King Arthur, and by the way as he rode he saw where stood an errant knight who made himself ready to joust. Not so, said Dinadan, for I have no will to joust. With me shall you joust, said the knight who blocked the way, or else you shall not pass this way. Why do you ask for these jousts? Is it from love or hate? The knight answered. Know you well, said the knight, I ask to joust for love. Hello, Susan! And not for hate. It may well be so, said Sir Dinadan. But if you offer me hard love, then you joust against me with a sharp spear. But fair knight, said Sir Dinadan, since you will joust with me, meet with me in the court of King Arthur, and there I shall face you. Well, said the knight, since you will not joust with me, I pray you tell me your name. Sir Knight, said he, my name is Sir Dinadan. Ah, said the knight, full well you know for a good knight and a gentle one, and know you well. I love you heartily. And then there shall be no jousts between us, said Dinadan. And so they departed. And the same day Dinadan came to Camelot. I do apologise, I didn't usually yawn. I apologise for yawning there, ladies and gents. And within there lay King Arthur. And there he saluted the king and the queen, and Sir Lancelot and Sir Tristram, and all the court was glad that Sir Dinadan had come. For he was gentle, wise, and courteous, and a good knight, and then especially the valiant knight Sir Tristram, who loved Sir Dinadan passingly well above all other knights, save Sir Lancelot. And then the king asked Sir Dinadan what adventures he had seen. Sir, said Dinadan, I have seen many adventures, and of some King Mark already knows, but not all. And then the king hearkened Sir Dinadan of how he told of Sir Palomides and he were before the castle of Morgan le Fay, and how Sir Lamorak had slain 4 people, and how afterwards he had smitten down Sir Palomides and Sir Dinadan both. I may not believe that, said the king, that Sir Lamorak should go and knock down Sir Palomides, for Sir Palomides is a passing good knight. That is the truth, said Dinadan, and yet I saw him better proved hand for hand in battle. And then he told the king all that battle, and how Sir Palomides was weaker and hurt, and had lost of his blood. And without doubt, said Sir Dinadan, had the battle lasted longer, then Palomides would have been slain. Jesus, said King Arthur, this is to me a great marvel. Sir, said Tristram, marvel nothing thereof, for at mine advice there is not a valianter knight in the world living, for I know his might. And now I will say to you that I was never so weary of a knight but if it were Sir Lancelot, and there is no knight in the world except Sir Lancelot that I think would do as well as Sir Lamorak. So God help me, said King Arthur. I would that the knight Sir Lamorak should come to this court as soon as possible. Sir, said Dinadan, he will be here in short space, and Sir Palomides both as well. But I fear that Sir Palomides might not yet travel. Well, Susan, maybe one day I'll start selling Simon wigs on the website. as a bit of a sideline of cash. Can we get some Simon wig tales going? We'll end the story there, ladies and gents, before we get to the jousting, because tonight's chapter was one hefty long chapter, much longer than I thought it was going to be. So tomorrow night we will pick up and continue and tell of King Arthur's great jousting tournament. And we'll also see what happens when Tristram and King Mark return to Cornwall together. It's all getting very tense between the two of them now, ladies and gents. We are heading towards a grand showdown. And Lars, last night I had a power cut from 5 in the afternoon, UK time, all the way up until 3 o'clock this morning. So I didn't have any power, and so I couldn't periscope. I tried. I can only use the internet off of the router, because the internet signals are so weak here. So what I tried to do was to get my phone, and could I pick up enough to tweet something out to let you guys know, and it didn't work, and then things died. But for anyone who's interested, if you go and check my tweets, then you'll see a nice bit of footage of me in the living room downstairs, surrounded by candles, apologising for the lack of show yesterday, which only came out this afternoon. But yes. Well, Lars, I missed being able to get it out. It was a bit done. To show you the cover, it's here, Barbie. This is my edition of Les Morte d'Arthur, complete with gorgeous woodcuts and engravings in there. You don't get any. Well, Susan, my tweet only went out a couple of hours ago, but you didn't get my tweets. That's not on, Susan. We should tell Twitter off. Well, it's always the same time and always the same place. That's a bit daft, it not coming through. And welcome, by the way, Barbie. Welcome to. I think this is your first show, so welcome to Les Morte d'Arthur. Well, that's how strange, Susan. How strange. Right. I'll tell you what, Susan. Let's do a thing there. Let's see. Can I? I'm going to tweet directly at you. Well, excellent. I'm glad that Queen brought you over. Queen is wonderful. I noticed it was broken today. Facebook was also giving me some jip earlier. No, I haven't received any tweets from you, Susan. I haven't received any tweets from you. That's a bit. No, that's. You're not blocked. She's not blocked. No, I'm not joking, Susan. Look, Susan isn't blocked, by the way. Just to prove, Susan isn't blocked. But how? No, Susan, I haven't. That's really weird. That's really weird. That is weird. No, Susan, I wouldn't do that. No, that's how. I've just tweeted you, Susan. I've just tweeted straight to you. Tweet back when the tweet shows up for you, because how weird. That's really weird. That's really weird. I'm not sure what's going on there, Susan. That's a bit bizarre. Anyway, hopefully we can fix that, and we'll give Twitter a shout and see if they can see what's going on there. But hopefully the technical issues will sort themselves out, and we can get back. The point being, we had a good show tonight, I think. Welcome back. Excellent. You've just got it. Reply, Susan. Reply to it. See if it comes up for me. And see. We'll see what's going on there. Thank you so much, by the way, for everyone who came tonight. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, Alicia, who I haven't seen in ages on here. Thank you, Julian, Black Rabbit, Herbert and Queen, Barbie, who was her first show. Thank you, Susan and Lars, and Dahlia coming in at the end. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for coming to the show and joining in. It's been wonderful to see you. Hello, Roger. Thank you, Roger, as well, if I didn't get Roger in there. Coming up now on Poetry Live, I'm going to do some Emily Dickinson poems, because we thought that Emily Dickinson had lived in Queenstown, but I'll try to be nice to them. On my work account, I've sent a number of irritable emails to developers at Facebook and Twitter. So we thought that Emily Dickinson had lived in Queenstown. That's not quite the way it went down in the end, but that doesn't matter, because there's a photograph of Emily Dickinson in Queenstown, and that's enough of a basis for us to go and do Emily Dickinson poetry tonight. So coming up in a couple of minutes' time, Emily Dickinson poetry on Poetry Live. I hope I will see you guys there. Thank you so much for coming. We'll see